When we've shared a life with someone else for a long time, moving on without them is usually difficult. It's not that easy to just fill that void back up and be fine tomorrow, but there are strategies that we can apply to speed up that process. Welcome, gentlemen, to the Badass Comeback Podcast, where I help you bounce back from that breakup or divorce faster, stronger, smarter, and more confident than you ever thought possible. All right, guys, today we're talking 3 strategies to move on faster, the science behind them, and what benefits you should expect to see with some consistent application. Let's dive right in. First point, get back into yourself. The first way to get ourselves back on track after separating from our partners is to get back to old hobbies, activities, and adventures. So take some time to think back to when you were single. What were some of those things that you loved to do? Fishing trips, working on your car, mountain biking. Really consider going back to those things. The things that make you, the things that help you relax, get invigorated, or are just plain fun. And this may seem obvious. With more free time, of course you can go back to those things, but there is a deeper meaning here. Not only are you rebuilding your happiness and independence, you are regrounding yourself back into your purpose or multiple purposes, even if they're just hobbies. Masculine happiness is rooted in purpose. When we get into a relationship, most of us guys slowly but surely start transferring that time away from our own activities onto activities with our girlfriends. The boys' night out becomes Netflix and cuddle night. Fishing trips become shopping trips and nice dinners, and working out becomes something like a text from her that says, "I miss you. Let's hang out and talk after I get home." And now you're newly single with all this extra time that is waiting to be filled back up. And it can be hard after you spent so much time shared with her. And a mistake that a lot of newly single guys do is that they fill up that free time with self-soothing activities, TV, junk food, video games, porn, swiping left or right for one-night stands, or worse, alcohol and drugs. And nowadays it's really easy to fill up that time with social media, and it's just so easy to scroll with no end in sight. And the thing is, with all these easily accessible forms of entertainment, it's so easy to just get lost in the sauce. And before you know it, an entire day, a week, or a month has flown by and we're right where we left off. Low energy, unmotivated, and more or less in the same spot. We have the ability to get ourselves out of that mode, and a big part of that comes from just rebuilding good habits, one step, one decision at a time. Yes, it sucks. And yes, your brain won't want you to exert any more effort than you actually need to survive, but our brains learn just like we do. The trick is to get your brain used to new habits, and it will follow through by changing your emotional state day by day. Check out this study by the Journal of Social, Psychological, and Personality Science. They wanted to find out how simply reflecting on pre-relationship identity accelerated emotional recovery after a breakup. They took 210 young men and women, split them up into 3 groups. One group wrote about who they were and what activities they were doing before the relationship started. They answered questions like, who were you before this relationship, and what activities or values defined you independently? The second group wrote about neutral topics unrelated to the breakup, and the third did some assessments without writing anything at all. All 3 groups did their assigned tasks over 10 weeks. And here's what they found. The first group saw a significantly lower distress and a higher self-concept in the 6 to 10 week mark as compared to the other 2 groups. At the 10-week mark, the first group reported greater engagement in those pre-relationship activities correlated with lower distress and higher life satisfaction. Keep in mind, guys, this was after they simply wrote about doing those old activities. What we can gather from this, going and physically doing some of those old activities has a great chance of speeding up the recovery process and to get you locked back into your self-identity once again. So let's take this and run with it. Ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, who was I before the relationship started? Number 2, what activities made me me? Number 3, What is one activity that I can start today, tomorrow, or whenever your schedule permits? And remember, an idea becomes a plan when you schedule it, and a plan becomes an action when you execute that plan. Set a time and date to start and do it. Another study I found on this subject is called Time Does Not Heal All Wounds. Wow, would you look at that? They took 1,224 adults who were recently divorced or broken up with, and what they found is that engaging in self-improvement pursuits like learning a new language or fitness challenges within the first year of being newly single correlated with 40 to 50% quicker adaptation. So what that basically means is that they were able to adapt to their newly single life much faster than people who do not do these self-improvement pursuits. So to wrap up this first concept, get back into those old things to reground your identity. Your brain will catch up and start to let go of those old connections that you made with her. All right, the second point is to clean and reorganize your living space. This is especially helpful to those of you who used to share a living space with your ex, but even if you didn't quite move in together yet, this will still help you recover faster. This point comes with a combination of different studies on the effects of cleaning and organizing to form new neural pathways in your brain. For the sake of brevity, we'll just say that all these studies that I found point to the same result. Cleaning and reorganizing forms new connections in your brain. And in terms of our mission in this podcast, replacing old connections with new ones is exactly what we are after. Even the act of physically cleaning up will get your body moving again. It will get your brain geared for success, and your dopamine will start flowing again, giving you good feelings of accomplishment. Reorganizing gives you novel visual cues and basically tricks your brain into thinking that you're in a new environment, unattached from the old environment with her. And as simple as it sounds, if you dedicate time to cleaning and reorganizing, it will improve your brain in other areas as well, notably the reward circuits for accomplishing tasks. Yes, even changing your bed sheets to a different color can kickstart this process. And now I know that some of you guys are absolutely stuck and having difficulty even finding the motivation to do even simple tasks, but now is your chance to even just start with one thing. Remember, if we want to become badass, we don't have time to wait for motivation to arrive. We create our own motivation with action. Motivation is momentum initiated by one thing, you. So let's get started. Here's some simple things that you can do right now to get that engine fired back up. Start with one room and ask yourself this question. How do I want this room to look? Get creative and take action on that answer. Number 2, do your damn laundry. Number 3, get rid of anything that reminds you of your ex. Pictures, decorations, kitchen gadgets, that pumpkin spice creamer, those light girly colored bed sheets and fluffy pillows, anything you can think of. Donate or sell old furniture or clothes that she bought with you or that you don't need anymore. And number 4, change colors. Get some new artwork going. You can even get an LED lamp that changes colors and it'll completely transform the vibe of a room. You can repaint the walls if you want, get a different colored shower curtain even, bath mats, anything that you can think of. Our brains respond to changes in color very well, especially that color is tied to a new vibe that you want to feel. All right, let's take it back a bit. And now I know that pushing yourself to accomplish these relatively simple things can be tough, as you're probably still carrying around a lot of those heavy emotions while you're doing them. But understand that simply the act of doing something small that is productive or fun will start to reprogram your brain one step, one activity, one day at a time. It's a percentage system and it's cumulative. You can't go from 2% happy to 20% by doing just one thing. So take that first step today. And if you really are at rock bottom or close to it right now, your brain is flooding you with all those sad chemicals. And if those are left unchecked, they will control your actions and your future. They will keep you couch locked. They will keep you reaching for the bottle or for the TV remote or whatever, and they will keep you sad. Right now, your dopamine, serotonin, and testosterone are down and your cortisol is probably up. You have a choice of sitting in it or literally moving your body despite what your brain wants to do. And it sucks. But here's the thing. The more you move into that pain on purpose, the more your brain will say, well, shit, he isn't just laying around and eating pizza like I want him to. I guess I have to give him some good chemicals. And over time, your brain will rewire the right connections again and get you back to normal faster. The mind follows the body and the body follows the mind. All right, the third way to start rebuilding after a breakup is to tighten up your diet and lift weights. Oh yeah, we've all heard this advice and we probably watched our recently single friends do the same thing. In point number 1, we talked about moving your body and accomplishing bite-sized goals to reset your brain chemicals over time, and lifting weights on a good diet is a way to supercharge that process. Now, if weightlifting isn't your thing, do some type of physical exercise that interests you. Activities like swimming, martial arts, sports, CrossFit, those are all good as well, but weightlifting in particular does a few things very well. In fact, here are 3 of them. It helps to reset healthy testosterone levels quickly. Good tea regulates our emotions, mood, physical and mental health, confidence, resilience, drive, motivation, energy, everything that makes you a badass mother effer. Number 2, it regrounds you into your primal instincts and reconnects you to the earth. In other words, it gets you out of your head and into your body, what your body was designed to do. Use its muscles. Number 3, and this is my absolute favorite, lifting heavy weights brings pain that is worse than the pain from a breakup. Why is this a good thing? It is a pain that is beneficial to your mental, emotional, and physical strength, and it's a productive distraction from the emotional turmoil that follows a breakup. When you are really straining against those weights, trying to run that last mile or hammer out 10 more kicks on the bag, your muscles are crying out in agony, but also giving you surges of dopamine and testosterone. And I'd rather be in that pain for an hour than be sad and sitting on the couch for that hour. Here's a study from the JAMA Psychiatry from June 2018. They examined the effects of resistance training on depression symptoms in 33 clinical trials involving 1,877 people. The researchers found that people who did this type of exercise reported a significant reduction in such symptoms as low mood, loss of interest in activities, and feelings of worthlessness compared to those who did not exercise. If you work out, boys, that pain will help lift you out of this slump faster. Also, one of life's unwritten rules is that we should choose our pain. Otherwise, life will choose our pain for us. All right, so I promised you guys 3 ways to recover, but I lied. Here's a bonus one. Number 4, educate yourself. Learn something new. Learn something you always wanted to, but didn't have the time to when you were sharing your time with her. I remember after a terrible breakup, I was just absolutely stuck. I couldn't stop thinking about her. I felt like total shit, and I got so sick of it that I decided to learn about something cool, just to distract me for fun. I was looking through aviation videos and I came across a documentary on a plane that quickly became my favorite aircraft and remains my favorite to this day. It was a documentary on the SR-71 Blackbird, and it turned into a ritual I had for a while. I would come home all sad, but then I'd turn on the documentary about the SR and it distracted me for a while. And it was great. I was learning something cool instead of being sad and watching porn or stupid TV shows just to numb myself. And now I could talk your ear off about that plane nowadays. And every time I think of the Blackbird, I'm reminded of how proud I was educating myself on something awesome instead of scrolling or laying around and feeling sorry for myself. And I'm actually reminded of it every day because I have a huge picture of one on the wall behind me. So think of something that you've always wanted to learn about. Go and find it in the endless growing sea of information available to us on the internet and dive in. Also, boys, education is just good for our brains. It's what keeps us mentally young, and it helps to reduce the chance of developing mental issues down the road like dementia, Alzheimer's. And it also gives us happy feel-good chemicals in our brain because that's how we're wired as humans. Learn, implement, build, feel accomplished. All right, guys, here's the final ingredient that I want you to add. And this is where what I teach and coach comes full circle. Here it is. And it's very simple. Don't ever stop these good habits and activities. If you do these three things, and basically anything else that you can think of to improve your own life as an individual, not only will your confidence increase, the quality of women you will attract will increase as well. And to the feminine, one of the most attractive qualities the masculine can have is investing and pushing forward in his life, building his mission, and living out his purpose. And with your future partner, we cannot let up on these healthy habits, goals, and activities. The feminine is always going to want your attention, but it is up to you to balance time with her versus time for your healthy activities. It's up to you and only you to be the best version that you can be. And your best version just happens to be badass, obviously. So do not sacrifice gym for cuddle time. Do not sacrifice reading that book for Netflix and chill. Don't sacrifice your meat for putting in for the love of all that is holy. Do not sacrifice working on your mission and purpose for extra relationship time. Maintain that balance, whether you're dating, in a relationship, or not. Your mission comes first. Relationship comes second. Yes, it is a balancing act, but a good, supportive, healthy partner is going to understand this and be flexible when it comes time to spending quality time with her versus your goals. But no matter what, no matter if you're single for another couple years or you find a new girl tomorrow, or even if your ex comes back, if you stick with it, your success in these areas will seep into other areas of your life as well. Want proof? Get started right now, and you will see for yourself. Your friendships will strengthen, your work performance will rise, your social status will climb, your days are going to be brighter, and you will just be making better, badass decisions in general. And guys, I know it's tough to climb out of that hole. I know what that pain feels like, but trust me, if you get up and take that first step, even though you still feel like shit, you will pull out of this faster than just sitting around eating potato chips and feeling sorry for yourself. The first 10% of anything is always the hardest. Greatness is a choice, and you have the ability and strength to start on that path. Just look inside of yourself. All right, guys, I want you to walk away from this episode with this one question. What can I do today to create those new connections in my brain? And remember the 4 concepts that we talked about when you're finding that answer. Old fun activities, cleaning and reorganizing, exercising and lifting weights, and learning something new. Do it even if you're sad or depressed or unmotivated or whatever. One step is all you need to get started. I have faith in you, brother. I have faith in all you guys challenging yourselves in this time. Get started today, boys. Your future is brighter than you think. Thanks for being here with me, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace out. Thank you for joining me in another badass episode, brother. If you want to accelerate through this time in your life and get a boost into your badass journey, sign up for a free 45-minute consultation for post-breakup or divorce coaching. All the info is in the episode description. Also, please remember to like, share your insights in the comments section, and if you know anyone who could use this in their journey to badassery, please share this episode with them. None of this would be possible without you guys, so thank you again, and I'll see you in the next episode.